everyone. We are working on getting this camera set up just right, you guys, and hopefully the service is nice. Debbie Beard,
Hi.
right here.
Where are we supposed to look? Is it right
We're supposed to look at this little camera deal whoppy here. Even though I'm going to be watching you. Like, I'm going to be sitting here and I'm going to be looking at you. You guys, thanks for being here. Hi, Allison.
Hi, Allison.
Hey.
Hey,
Hi, Karen.
Hello. Nisha, hi.
Nisha's here. So you guys, what's today?
Friday.
August 10th, Friday Night Live. If you're
Sally,
catching the
hi,
raw play,
Sally.
if you're catching the replay, just wanted you to know it's August 10th, and we are actually in Dana Point, California. Miss Debbie Beard hopped on a train and rode up the coast. We went and picked her up at the San Juan Capistrano. Great little town. Oh my gosh, it was just such a neat little town. It reminded me of like Little Mexico. I don't know what it was, but it was really a quaint little town. So we brought her back to our place. And we're just going to hang out and ask some questions. I teased last week that if you guys had some questions for Miss Debbie Beard, post them. We're going to get the good stuff.
Hey, Leilani.
Hey, Leilani.
I love that name.
I know, and she's precious too. I'm looking forward to you meeting Leilani.
Oh, awesome.
She's come to 2 of my classes and she's wonderful. Hey everybody, so if you're just now popping on here, this is Debbie Beard from Debbie's Design Diary. She is also the owner of
Happy
DIY.
to see you too, Sally. Oh, sorry. I always feel so awkward. It's like I don't want to interrupt you, but I don't want to just stand there and go,
What she said. So she's also the owner of DIY Paint and the originator of Hi Mama.
Hi, Mom.
Of the DIY boot camp, which is coming up in September, so we'll probably talk about that just a little bit too. But right now, I told her I had some questions for her. We're going to the Swallows. That's right, Lori. That's what Debbie was telling me. It's such a neat little town. Hi, Lexi. I'm so glad you guys are here tonight. I don't have any free paint to be given away like I usually do. But you guys know the drill. Please feel free to share the video tonight. I do not have Kawita Allen with me, but we will be returning next Friday. We will both be home and we will both be painting next Friday. And I think we've got some wonderful paintbrushes we're going to be sharing and debuting too. So
I could put a blindfold on you and act like Q. And
you could!
Try and talk with the southern accent.
That's good, Debbie. That's really good. Did you watch our paint show?
Yes.
Where we were painting with Q's blindfold?
I loved it.
So one person commented on there and said, it looks like somebody could see through the blindfold.
Oh, come on.
But the trick is, Q put it on beforehand. She said when she bought it, hey, Callie, she said when she bought it, she tried it on. And Q's on here can vouch that she did. She knows that she knows I was stumbling all over my feet. So I'm glad you're not here just for the free paint because I don't have any with me. I'm on vacation. I'm in Dana Point. We've been enjoying the beach. We went to an Angels game and I'm so pumped that my friend came all this way to see me. Took her a little bit longer on the train than it was supposed to.
My train was delayed an hour. How long was the train ride? The train ride is only supposed to be 53 minutes, but the train broke down. We had to get a new train. And then because the train was behind schedule, we had to like stop on the train tracks and wait for other trains to go by. So I don't even know how long I was on there. Like,
do they have air conditioning?
Yes.
Oh, they have air conditioning. Which apparently it's real. Hi, Q. She says
hey,
hi.
Q. How did I do with the impersonation of you, Q? Did you like it?
She wants to know how the southern accent was, Q. Did she do all right? I thought she did pretty good. So, you know what? I just wanted to ask some questions for Debbie. She's been doing a lot of lives on Facebook, and you guys have been rallying behind her and giving her the support. You know, she's a YouTube, which means you get to edit and be prepared. And so she's been pushing herself out there. She's been going on Facebook more and doing lives and sharing some. It's been scary, but she's doing it anyway, and I'm super proud of her. And even I think you did like a 30-day challenge, and what did you catch? About 15 of those 30 days?
I don't know how many I've done so far, but I didn't say 30 consecutive days, so I'm on like, I don't know, number 10.
But it's been good. Everybody loves your story. She has some really good stories, and her They always have heart, and they always have like a display of perseverance where she got in there and she's like, I'm doing this, I'm pushing through, I'm sticking through it. And so Coetus's lives are freaking scary.
They are. Yes, they are.
But you know what? When Q gets off of here with me, she goes and watches every single one. And this one does the same thing.
Because I have to see if I made an idiot out of myself.
What's it matter? It's over. Because I promise
Because you can delete it if
when
it's
this
really
girl
bad.
gets big red lips in her mouth and she's spitting them out onto the floor, ooh, I've come a long way. I just let it go, right? Just let it go. Yeah. Callie's on here giving you hearts and laughs. So I'm just going to jump right into some questions, you guys. One of the questions I had for Debbie was, I want to know, Debbie has 163,000 followers on YouTube. That's a lot. I have 6 now. Did you know I had 6?
6,000?
6,000.
That rocks.
I know, right?
That's totally good.
So I'm not Jamie Ray and Zeb yet, and I'm definitely not Debbie Beard yet, but I'm enjoying the YouTube now for now. But my question to you is, do you remember the very first YouTube video that you uploaded?
Yes.
You do?
I do. I remember it because it took 2 weeks to edit. 2 weeks.
Okay, but how did you make the decision to do a YouTube video? Like, how did you decide Debbie's Design Diaries going on YouTube? How did you make that decision?
Well, I had been auditioning for HGTV every single year for that design show, and like there was a big transition. So the world dramatically changed, in my opinion, because when I started auditioning for HGTV, if you wanted to get your face on camera and share your ideas, you had to have some gatekeeper say, we pick you. We will give you permission to put yourself out there. And so that was the only way. You hoped for a big break. And so I was always like auditioning, knocking on doors, being told, thank you, you almost made it, thank you for playing, but no. And so you get rejection after rejection. And then when YouTube came around, I had heard about it, but I didn't think I could do it because I didn't think I could edit videos. Because every audition tape I ever made, I paid someone about $400 to edit my videos. And I'd sit down with them and tell them how I wanted it edited, but I'd look and it just looked totally overwhelming to me. And so one day my mom and I went into the Apple store and she's like, I'm gonna go get one of those Apple phones. Do you wanna come with me? And I'm like, yeah. And so we were in there and I had probably the flip phone, the Razor phone, I don't know what it was. It was like 2011. And
so 7 years ago.
And the phones I think were that generation of iPhone was $300. And my mom's like, you should get one.
Which was a lot.
I'm like, I don't want to pay that much. I mean, how good is this phone anyway?
How good are those iPhone things?
Yeah, and so then the Apple guy was like, yeah, and you can shoot video on it and, upload it to YouTube. And I'm like, you can shoot video on your phone? And then he started telling us about how there's free classes at the Apple store to learn how to edit video. And then my mom, I remember she told me afterwards, and it's such a precious memory for me because I lost her, and it was like her buying me that phone was like a major turning point in my life. And she said, I'm going to get you a phone, Debbie. Do you want one? And I didn't want to just take advantage of her giving me something because she was on a budget, and don't cry.
No, I'm sorry.
But once, I told her, no, Mom, I don't want you to buy me a phone. But then after the Apple guy said, you can shoot video with your phone and we'll show you how to edit for free.
Yeah, light bulb.
Yeah.
Right, was that a light bulb moment?
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, Mom, yeah, I'm going to let you buy me this phone. And then when we walked out of the store, she just said, I felt like God was telling me that I needed to get you that phone. And at that point, I was so far, like that $300 might as well have been $10,000.
Yeah.
It was like, I could not afford that phone. And because she bought it for me and because they dangled that carrot, I'm like, okay, I am really going to do this. I'm going to make a commitment to try and figure out how to edit video. And I went to the first class and I remember sitting there at a table with 6 people. And I remember thinking, could I really learn how to do this? I was almost in tears because I thought, I don't know if
You
I
were shaking
can.
your head going, that's not me. That
Yeah.
right? That doesn't sound like something I can do.
Yeah, and I did tear up because I was a little bit frustrated in that class. But the Apple people are so great. And like I have gone to those free classes 58 times. And so I just kept going.
I never have. I didn't even know anything about it.
Yeah. So I just kept going back, and they like, I went in, I ended up getting a laptop there, and they just showed me, like, held my hand step by step. This is how you cut a video. And the first one took 2 weeks, and it was...
What was it?
It was how to make sea urchin cupcakes.
How to make sea urchin cupcakes.
Not the kind, they're not edible, but they're like
not
little,
edible? Is that video still on your YouTube?
Oh, yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
Dang, I wish I'd watched that beforehand. And so was that in 2011?
Yeah, that was, I think that was like November of 2011. So that was my very first edited real craft tutorial that I put up. And then from there, I just...
Did you get any views? Like, did it take a while?
Yeah, I had to watch it 100 times just to get it.
To get 100? The
tell
first 100 were
YouTube.
Debbie.
And then I made all my friends and family watch it, and slowly, like, I remember my first
But
comment.
how did you feel? Like, were you just like this? Like, were you intense about posting it? Like putting it out there for the universe? Or were you pretty confident in it?
I was really excited about it, and I thought it was hard. It was hard, like, trying to figure out how I was going to set up in my craft room.
Did you do the camera high?
I did the camera high from
You
the very
did
beginning.
from the very beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Did you do it inside?
Inside my little, I lived in a little 400 square foot cottage, and I did it in my tiny craft room that was maybe 50 square feet. But one thing that I teach in all of the video classes, like I teach a video workshop at boot camp every year, and that's my favorite part. I love teaching the video classes, but the one thing that I say to the people that take my workshops are, you know, like, you make something and you pour your heart and soul into it, and then you put it out there, and you're kind of like, I see a lot of people who are kind of bashful, like, oh, it's okay, oh, thank you. And I don't believe that. I think you have to be your own biggest fan. And so from that very first video, like, I look back on it now and it's like, yeah, I've improved a lot. But when I made that video, I poured my heart and soul into it, and I was proud of it.
You do that with everything.
I watched
You
it
do that
over
with
and
everything you touch. Everything Debbie does, she pours her heart and soul into it. That's what I get stuck on, watching her and listening to her and rallying behind her, because
But I think
you do everything.
I don't think you should be ashamed. Like, when you paint a piece of furniture and you're like, that's freaking good. Like, you need to be your own biggest fan, because if you don't love it, nobody else is gonna love it. And like, with every video I make, my favorite thing to do after editing and watching it all over again, and after I post it to YouTube, I lay in my bed and I watch it on YouTube, and I'm like, damn good, girl.
Dang right.
And that's like my reward. It's like, there's nothing more
shoot time.
satisfying than knowing that you gave it your best. It may not be perfect, but you gave it your best, and you're proud of your work, and you're your own biggest fan. And it's like, if you can do that, then you will succeed.
Yes. Believing in yourself.
Yeah.
We all struggle with believing in ourselves. There's always that self-doubt. And then those people walk in or get on there, those keyboard warriors, and occasionally you get like a thumbs down. Yeah, and I'm dealing with that right now. I'm getting those wackos on there. I'm like, why do I have a thumbs down? What's not to like? Why are you here? Why are you following me? I don't understand.
I know, but like, so today I got a comment on my painted sofa video, my most popular video on YouTube.
Yeah, she has like a million. You're almost up at a million on that painted sofa.
But I mean, I love that sofa.
It's
in
awesome.
my house.
It's in her house.
Every time I look at it, I'm like, that is so pretty. And then when I do get a comment, like today I got a comment, oh, that's ugly. It's like, no, it's not. It's good. Like, you have no taste. That's what I
you
think.
got bad taste.
Like, you have to believe in yourself. If you know it's good, it doesn't matter what other people say. Like, it's just like, when I get comments like that, I'm like, you're an idiot.
Or immature, which happened earlier, a couple hours ago, right? An immature comment.
Yeah.
So, okay. I follow a photographer, and she does like workshops where she travels around. Okay, she travels around the nation, and she sells tickets to her photography workup. And I mean, she is awesome. like you are with video editing. It's her passion. Okay. And so I want to know if that's something you've ever thought about or ever considered doing, is actually teaching like a 2 or 3 day video camp where you have to apply to be in your camp, but I'm thinking, is that something you would ever do? Or
so we're doing boot camp. It's
Yes.
coming up. And it is so much work. It, like, literally, like when you take a sponge and you wring out every last bit until the sponge is dry. That's how I feel after boot camp is over. I love it, but it's so intense. And it's like, after this one, I've said, okay, I'm not going to do another one until 2020 because it's just too much.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was thinking about it a few days ago, and I'm like, you know, if I could, like, my dream in the sky, the pie in the sky dream would be to buy like an old barn somewhere in California on the beach with maybe little cottages around, and have like a permanent camp where there could be boot camp and other types of camp and a video camp and maybe a Turquoise Iris camp.
I could come and host a class.
Yeah, and that would take a lot of work out of it, because we could have like a permanent studio set up, and we could have everything just dialed in, and then it could be like a continuing thing. Like
That's an
that, I
awesome
would love
idea.
to do that. Like to just have.
But you've
various-
also mentioned before, I've heard you mention like the Airstream or traveling to people, but I can see where just having a permanent place would be so
Fun.
much easier. And then you could invite people up. You could have the IOD sisters come to a workshop. Like there's so many things you could do with that. So you would consider the 2 or 3 day
Yes.
video workshop.
Yes, if I didn't have to. Like, the hard part about it is just doing things that are in other locations and shipping everything there and making sure, like, it just sounds, maybe it's not a lot easier, but it sounds a lot easier.
Well, with boot camp coming up, how did you come up with the idea of boot camp? Like, I mean, we're not talking a physical workout with, like, you know, the sandbags. Like, this is a business boot camp. And as far as I know a lot of other paint companies do training, but I don't know of any quite like this. And so I'm just curious, where did that idea originate and how did it come?
That idea was, like, I don't know that boot camp would ever exist. I have a friend, her name is Erin. I don't think you've ever met her, but we have been friends since high school. And when I was first starting DIY paint, like the first 6 months of it, when it was still just a little baby, it was like there were so many hurdles to get over, so many things like designing the labels, picking the paint colors,
how did you decide
recruiting retailers. And I remember there was one point where I was talking to her and I'm like, we did it. Like, we got all the main things done. You know, the paint is going out to the customers, the labels are on, we have retailers, they're selling. And I was like taking a break going, I did it. I did something major. And then my friend says to me, she goes, well, what's your next big dream? And I was like, what do you mean? I just ran a marathon. Like, I don't even want to think about another dream. And she just kept kind of pushing me. She's like, no, like, you know, it's important to have something else on the horizon. And she's like, if money and time and help and all those things weren't an issue, what would you do next? And I just kind of threw the idea out there, like off the top of my head. I was kind of irritated. I'm just like, don't talk to me about that. I want to just enjoy this moment. And I'm like, oh, I would probably have a boot camp and this would be, you know, and I was just like talking out of the side of my mouth. And then she's like, you should do that. And then I wasn't planning on doing it anytime soon, but there were circumstances, which I can't really talk about, but there were some hard circumstances, and after I had said it, it was just one of those things that was meant to be, and it was like, no, you need to do this boot camp, and you need to do it right now. And
that was in 2016?
I think so. It was the first one. So
No,
I'm
it
not
would
good
have been
with
15.
dates.
It would have been 15.
Yeah.
Because you skipped
So-
2 years between.
Yeah.
Okay, so it'd be 15. Okay.
And it was one of the major things that saved my business, because there was something that happened with DIY paint in the beginning that was really hard, and I planned boot camp before I knew that was going to happen, but it ended up being one of those things where you look back and you're like, wow, that was really important for me to do. I'm glad that I did it.
Awesome.
But after that camp, like, I waited another 2 years because it was hard. Like, the first one took a lot of planning and a lot of time.
And this one is back to back.
yeah.
Like, we're literally 12 months away from these two, like 2017 and this one.
Yay, Annie! I can't wait to meet you. She's
Thank
going
you,
to the day
Cheryl.
camp.
Oh, good. So we do have the DIY day camp coming up on September 18th, which we still have tickets available for that. So if you guys are interested in that, we'll post that link here when we get off. And then boot camp for the retailers is coming up on the 20th through the 22nd.
Yeah.
Are those the right dates? So I know you've been busting your tail with that. And I know that the idea probably of boot camp originally has kind of transformed into something a little bit different because you've come to know so many different retailers with so many ideas, and then Facebook has just Facebook Lives. I mean, when you first started your boot camp, there was no such thing as Facebook Lives, and so
I love those days where Facebook Live.
and she's still not happy being on Facebook Live.
I wish we could go back.
Come on! I tell people all the time, I'm like, if it wasn't for Facebook, like some of the people that I coach in my group, I'm like, if there wasn't Facebook Live, you wouldn't even know who I was, and I wouldn't know you. Like, it's brought so many people together.
It's a good thing. I just really like the days where you just
like control. You like control. That's why. I wanted one of Nisha. She's on here. Nisha Meyer. She's also at the beach. She wanted to know how
way harder, Wendy. Way harder.
Way harder, Wendy. They are way harder because with YouTube she gets to edit, and with lives we're on here. Anything can happen. If you've watched any of mine specifically, I have children coming in and out. I have the garage door open and I have the guy next door mowing. I don't have any control over anything other than I can just push done and say goodnight. But there's so many things that can happen.
Facebook Live to me feels like it's very much the same as if you've ever had to get up and give a speech to a group of people, because there's no do-over. Like with a YouTube video, the way I look at YouTube video is it's like painting a piece of furniture. You can mold it, you can shape it, you can create it, you can take a hot mess of takes. Like there are times where I couldn't even get the sentence out right. And so I took like 4 versions of the same sentence, and I will literally cut the first 2 words of one sentence and the middle part of another sentence and the last part of the third sentence and make it look like one sentence. Like it's like a scrapbook that you can cut, and you can add like little whistles to and bells, and you can distract people with things that aren't like that you don't necessarily want them to see.
I can see why you think that's fun. I like getting on here. I like doing it. I like getting it over and going, bam, I'm done.
That's good.
I don't like taking the time. I don't like picking the details and inspecting and spending 2 weeks. I like to be on here and go, boom, an hour went by and I just did it. I'm done. Check it off my list.
That is nice. But you get paid on YouTube.
Oh, that's true. I'm not getting paid. That does make a difference for YouTube, and that's how she has 163,000 followers, because she puts so much work into all of her videos. They're absolutely fun and they're informational. And I mean, when you just have some really good followers. Like you have people that come to me and say, I found you through Debbie Beard. And
vice versa.
Wow, you're being nice. You're being nice, but I hear that a lot. So back to what Nisha was asking, she wanted to know how you came up with your colors. Like I've thought before about, I don't know, naming something. It's like, how do you name your colors? Like, how did you make a list? Did you write them in your notebook? Did you ask your friends? How did you come up with 36 different names for your paint colors?
I've always been fascinated with packaging and marketing and visual display. And so do you remember like back in the day when Urban Decay first came out with their nail polishes and they had all those weird names for them? They were the first company who ever came out with fun names for colors. And I bought a lot of that nail polish just because it said like asphalt or grunge or whatever, you know. And I was just so fascinated. Like I remember going to the beauty store and picking up
the
all
names and
the
looking at each bottle,
looking at each name, and I loved it. And so when I got to have my own paint line, picking the colors was really hard. I obsessed over that, and it's like it had to be just the right blue, but the names were just fun. I wanted names that kind of embrace the whole culture that we have as furniture painters and vintage junkers. So I tried to come up with names that kind
Yeah,
of...
vintage. That is the key word. I feel like every word, like crinoline,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? They're a vintage term almost.
Yeah. But I also wanted them to, like, I wanted you to pick up the can and see the name and just be like, how could you not buy a container of layered chocolate?
Or
Like,
kissing booth. Hello.
yeah. So that's how I came up with the names.
But did you just write them all out one day? Or did it take you a little while? Did you ask your friends and family for input? Did you have 3 for fuchsia and you were like, like, do you remember?
Yeah, I remember. I have a notebook to this day of names for the future.
You do? I want to do one. Can I pick one sometime?
Yeah.
I want to pick a color. I want to make my own color. That's
absolutely.
Wouldn't that
We
be
need, like,
fun?
the color of your dress.
You know, I am asking for a royal blue, not a royal blue, like a cobalt, really a bright, deep blue, because I've been trying to make this, and I think you have to have a lot of yellow.
Yeah.
And
that would be
frankly,
a good color.
I don't know, but I really, y'all, you vote for this color, you guys? Yeah. And we would call it, God, I'd have to make a note. I don't know. It could be named Dion. Jackie, that's awfully kind. No one would ever know how to spell it. Normally, I just call myself
Deep
Amy.
Blue Dion.
Deep Blue Dion. We need a purple, says Melanie.
We do need a purple.
And
We
we
need a
shall
purple,
name
and
it.
I have some names. Yeah.
Gail says we should name it the Turquoise Iris.
Yeah.
That is sweet.
It is the color of the turquoise iris.
It
Pretty
is.
much.
It is. Yeah. Okay, and so as far as the boot camp coming up, I know I keep going back to it because it's on our brain, and she's working like crazy to get her boot camp all set up. So we have. Will you remind me the list of the teachers coming to for the day camp, for those that might be interested still in the day camp?
We do have some tickets left for day camp. We have Kelly Weiler from Girl Upcycled. She is going to be sharing the ins and outs of Facebook Live, like the setup and how to do it, how to get your camera right. She's also going to be teaching how to teach a workshop. So Kelly does these great classes where you go in and you have a canvas and you can paint a little vintage truck. So she is going to be teaching that workshop, but it's not going to be so much about how to paint the vintage truck, but how to have a successful workshop no matter what it is. Like if you make jewelry or if you sew, just like the basics of getting customers to your shop.
So not just for painters, but for any kind of creators when they want to do a workshop to create any kind of thing. Okay, that's awesome. So Kelly Weiler, you, me.
What are you going to be teaching?
I'm going to be doing a combo class that's painting, and we'll just play. I mean, we've got to. If I'm going to be there, we're going to have to paint. But we're also going to talk about staging. I believe Beth's going to have kind of a stage, like a little section set up with a staging wall, and I'm going to talk about props, why I chose these props, what to use to repurpose, photography. I have you put a couple of apps on your phone to kind of play around with it, lighting and such. So I'm going to do that combo class.
Do you know what I want to learn?
Tell me.
I want to learn all of the beautiful pictures of Dion that you see where she's posed and you think she hired a photographer, she does those herself. She sets up the camera on the tripod, and then she runs over to the piece of furniture, and then she very gracefully poses with her hats and her things, and then you have a little timer thing?
No, I do the timer on my phone. You can do it.
You set the timer on your
phone,
and
then
you
you have
just
10 seconds. You either get 3 or 10. And so I run across the room, and I pose, and then I run back over, and it takes a while. It's a little bit of a process.
Do you set it up so it rapid fires several versions? Or are you running back and forth constantly?
I don't think we have rapid fire. I don't know how to do that on here.
On my phone, you can set it up so it will take 10 pictures in a row, so you can be all.
No, I do one at a time. No, I do one at a time. Now, I don't look at all of them. I run over and then I'll tap it again and then go back and change or do something a little bit different. So she just rocks, let's face it. Cindy, you're so sweet to me.
Totally.
She came 12 hours to my last class and are Winnebago with her pups.
Cindy, where are you from?
It's not
Idaho?
Michigan, Iowa.
Iowa.
I think. Yeah. Anyway, so the funniest time though, it was in the summer and we had a fly in the house. And where do you think that fly wanted to land?
I'd like to be a fly on the wall watching you
time.
pose for your pictures because they look professional. They look like, I'm like,
I'm
who
just
is her
using my phone.
photographer?
I'm just using my
You
phone. And
look
those
so chic.
hooligan boys that are 13 and 16 are usually standing over there going, or one of them will be like, what is she doing? Or I'll come out in the middle, like they see me out in the garage, and then I run back in and I put my hair down, and then I put a hat on, and I throw a dress on, and I'm like, okay. And I run in through the room, and they're like, where are you going? And I'm like, oh, I gotta take some photos.
How many times do you shoot to get the ones that you like? Because like even for me with my, like when I take a selfie and I've got the camera right here, I take 5 or 6. I'm like, delete, delete, delete.
Oh, at least 30.
Yeah.
At least 30 to get a good shot. Yeah, I do that. And there's probably some goofy looking ones on my phone right now.
Mine would end up like Kristen Calhoun.
Like Kristen Calhoun when she paints. I don't know if you guys saw that, but she did goofy photos of her trying to pose, taking selfies.
That would be me.
It wouldn't. But Tracy with Tracy's Fancy took some beautiful photos. I don't know who her photographer. I think she said her 13-year-old
really
was the photographer. Yes, and then Kristen was imitating. I don't know if you guys saw that, but she put them side by side, and it was hysterical. She had her face like smushed against her dresser.
Yeah. We'll do a side by side of you and I, and you'll be glamorous and gorgeous, and I'll be like,
no. Well, I'll show you how to do that.
All right.
I'll show you
we're gonna
at
learn
boot camp.
At day camp, Dion is going to teach us how to be glamorous with our furniture.
Sure. Absolutely. You told us we were going to have a fashion show, didn't you? For the retailers. We're going to have a fashion show. Do I have to make my clothes? Is it make?
Okay, so here is we haven't properly announced it yet, but the retailers who are coming to boot camp, they've all been challenged to come to boot camp with some item of fashion. It could be jewelry, it could be a hat, it could be cowboy boots, it could be jeans,
Ooh,
it
I
could
could do
be
a hat.
an entire ensemble. But they have to alter a piece of clothing or fashion with DIY paint products. And then on the last day of camp, we're going to have a catwalk, and they're going to walk down the catwalk modeling their item, and Dion is going to be the moderator.
Yes.
Like on that show Project Runway. With,
yes, darling. Look, we've got Kelly Wyland walking down now, strutting her stuff.
Yes.
I will have multiple voices.
And what do
definitely.
they say when you kick them out? Avita Zane or whatever.
Oh, I don't know. I'll have to freshen up on that.
But we think this is a really fun contest, so we want to make it also, like there will be 2
can
winners.
I do it live? Can we set up cameras?
Yeah, that would be fun.
We should set up cameras,
But
right?
we're
So
gonna have
everybody else
one
can be
boot
involved.
camp winner and
Okay.
one just out there for the public. So if any of you want to create some kind of fashion item with DIY products, we'll put out a hashtag, and all of the boot campers will
great
pick a
idea.
winner too. And the prize is
So they'll post on Instagram if you want to participate.
yes
With a hashtag called DIY Glam Catwalk. I don't know. We'll come up with something. And then everybody will be able to vote.
yeah, and we're gonna have some kind of prize. Like,
Tony, come on, sister. I need to meet you. Let's
what
go.
do you think the prize should be? What would be a good prize?
Gosh.
Oh,
I don't know.
we're making hoodies for DIY with the logo on the
Yes.
back and a cute little thing in the front. So the prize will either be a hoodie if you want it. If you don't want the hoodie, then we'll give you like a $50 gift certificate for
Yes,
DIY
that's a
paint.
great idea for the paint. Absolutely. There's so many people that want to try the paint still. And I just can't give out free paint fast enough on my Friday Night Lives. So yes, it will be, Shannon. It will be so much fun.
Oh, you are beautiful.
That's so sweet. I'm not feeling it that great today, so I appreciate that. I got on anyway, my beach face. What else should we talk about, or should we let them all go? I don't even know what time it is. We have reservations.
We've been talking for a while.
We have reservations.
The other teachers are Zeb
Oh
and
yeah,
Jamie.
we forgot sidetracked. Zeb and Jamie from Jamie Ray Vintage, and they're going to do
How to build a brand.
how to build a brand because they're amazing.
Yes.
They're amazing. They are working their tails off, raising 5 children, and running a very successful business and growing their YouTube channel and all of the above. And so then we also have
Beth and Callie.
Beth and Callie, and they're going to be doing
How to run
booth
how to run a brick and
mortar.
mortar versus how to run a booth, the ins and outs of if you've always wanted your own store, if you want to start a booth, like how to display it, how to stock it, how to know like which shows are good to go to, merchandising,
all of the stuff.
Yeah.
Beth is also
Beth
just,
Tidwell, Farm Fresh
it's going to be at
Vintage
Farm Fresh
Finds.
Vintage Finds. Beth Tidwell and her family are hosting all of us. And they're already, I mean, they are just working their tails off trying to get everything set up and ready. We do have a day that's open to the public on the Saturday, the 22nd, and we welcome all of you that day. So we
The
can meet
IOD
all of you.
sisters
The
will be
IOD
there.
sisters are coming, Iron Orchid Design, so they'll have their new merchandise there. And if we forgot anybody, it's because we're live on Facebook and that happens, and I greatly apologize. But Debbie, I just want to thank you so much for being here. And we're getting ready to go to dinner with the family, so she's going to have to sit by Holden. I'm making her, actually I'm going to make her sit by Elijah because he's more ornery. But you know, this is such a treat. It's my 3rd time to California, but it was the boys' very first time, as Matt's as well. Yesterday was his birthday. This is our 20-year anniversary this week. It's actually on Sunday, but I'm celebrating all week, right? I mean, if you're going to do 20 years together, you get to celebrate a whole week.
Absolutely.
So it was so nice to get to see my friend. And I think I've been very, am I reminiscing? That's not really the word, but I've been reminiscing for the last couple of weeks because this time last year, I was in such a different place with DIY paint. I was just getting on board. I had only met her over the phone, and just seeing the growth in DIY paint over the last year and all of our retailers, and seeing the growth in you.
And you. It's
and
been
me,
amazing. It's a
myself,
huge blessing.
watching myself.
Hey, Jenna.
It's been a really amazing year, and so I feel like this is kind of our week to celebrate. And as we move forward, and I'm pumped about boot camp, I'm pumped about the future. And I told Debbie when I met her that it just felt right. Like it just felt right automatically meeting you over the phone. It was one of those things where it's like, I'm on board and I'm going in 110%. And I feel like that's kind of what we've been doing. We just kind of took off running, or what I've been doing. So I'm just kind of I'm kind of coming full circle and celebrating, and I'm reminiscing that we've done a lot in the last year.
Yes, we have.
We've done a lot. So you guys, thank you for being here. I started this in October, and we are now in August, so we're hitting our 10-month mark for my Friday Night Lives. And anytime I get to have a guest person to person, it's even more fun. We will be back Friday night with Kawita Allen of All Shabbed Out, and she and I are going to be using Paint Pixie's new brushes. And I just became a retailer today, says Denise Parks. Welcome, Denise.
That is right. She's from Canada.
Yes.
She is like, I think she's near Ontario. Where are you, Denise?
Denise, it's so nice to have you.
Yay, Canada.
Thank you, Karen. It is meant to be. It was
is.
absolutely meant to be, without a doubt. I'm not going anywhere. Even if she pushes me, I'm not going anywhere.
No way. You are like one of the biggest blessings God has ever put in my lap. I'm like, I've told the story about how I tried to send you some paint, and you're like, no, I already have enough paint. Thank you. And I'm like, okay, well, no strings attached.
But again, she persisted. That's her personality. She persisted, and she came and asked me a second time, even though I had I'd already told her no. I didn't need that much paint in my cabinet, right? But she persisted, and that's kind of her go-to, because she is very persistent, and I'm so glad that you did.
Well, I think it goes back to just being your own biggest fan. It's like, I knew, like, what I was thinking from my perspective is, oh, she doesn't want to accept this paint because she thinks that, you know, an obligation comes with it, that you'll have to use it and talk about it. And I'm thinking, I just need to get it in your hands and let you try it. And once you try it, you'll want to use it. And so I just said, there's no strings attached. I just want you to try it. And if you hate it, fine. But I knew you were going to love it.
I did.
So
I did, and I do, and I it's perfect for the way I paint. It's perfect. It's perfect for me too. So I've just enjoyed watching the growth of DIY over the last year.
It's amazing.
It's been fun. And so for those of you who have not tried it,
Creeper in the window behind you? Really? One of your boys?
you know what? There are 3 people inside. Or, did you see me? There are 3 people in the house behind me, and we're getting ready to go to dinner. So
What's for dinner?
He could have been. We're going to Hendrix down the road.
I'm so hungry.
I think it's a steakhouse
All right.
for you on your keto diet. I'll get a salad. All right, you guys, thanks for being here, and thank you. For letting me just ask questions. I didn't give her a list, you guys. I just kind of threw them out there at her. And so you think it's Matt, says Tony. It probably is. He's probably like this. All right, you guys, have a wonderful week, and we'll catch you back on next Friday. We're going to go chow.
Yes. Bye. Happy
Bye,
Friday.
you guys.